Well, thrill seekers, day 16. We're at the Haven Marina Motel and we're just about to go head to the Adelaide Aircraft Museum. So come along, see what you reckon. Well, thrill seekers, we're here at the South Australian Aviation Museum, which is not far from the train museum we went to before, here in Port Adelaide, located in the beautiful, beautiful state of South Australia. So we're going to go in and have a bit of a look and hope you like it. See you in there. Ah, quick, hide. Don't let them see us. And more importantly, don't mention the war.
You want me to show you what they are?
Yeah, they're good. Good. This one down here.
F-18.
F-18.
F-111.
F-111.
Canberra Bomber.
Canberra Bomber.
Pilatus.
That
one. Trainer.
Yep. Pilatus trainer.
You got the Dakota up the back.
Dakota up the back. Yep. Ah, it is very respectful of them to honour the German Red Baron. Very good. I can remember in the 80s when I first joined the army and coming home on leave, we flew in one of these, which was a Fokker F-27.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Put your tray tables up, your seatbelts on, and your chairs in the upright position. And if you don't, I'm going to beat the living crap out of you. This particular DC-3 was at RAF Edinburgh when I was there. They had two, but this is the last surviving one, which was 114, and that was at Ardu Air Research Development Unit when I first came to RAF Edinburgh in the late 70s. Which used to be fitted out with all sorts of instruments for doing a lot of post-war deliveries around Australia, and used to be like the Hercules of the 1950s and 60s.
So what other memories you have, Greg?
Canberra Bomber, that was used in Vietnam. I had a friend of mine in Williamtown who used to fly the Canberra Bomber. He was one of the last guys that was officially able to fly a RAF Canberra Bomber. Definitely know Trevor Etheridge. He was a caribou pilot at Richmond when we were doing training there. I'm pretty sure I know that name, Trevor Etheridge.
Trevor Etheridge, right on the end here, looks like a young bloke. And so by the time you joined the Air Force, Greg, in the 80s, 79, late 70s, and during the 80s, you
he would have been a squadron leader.
F-111.
Yeah, they were stationed up at Amberley mostly. That was the main base. 1 squadron, 3 squadron, mostly F-111 squadrons for the RAF.
And they're only used as a bomber.
They were a fighter bomber.
Yeah.
They could be used in a fighter situation, but they were really more designed, the F-111 were really for a long-range bomber. You could go to Darwin and bomb somewhere in Southeast Asia and return on a tank of fuel.
I think I remember them being one of the first aircraft where their wings, once they got into flight, could fold back to make them go faster.
Yeah, well, this one, they're called a swept wing. Swept wing aircraft, so they come forward for slower tactical manoeuvring, and then they're swept back for high-speed flight. All these wing areas here, and these wing lines, they all have bladders in them.
Yep.
Fuel bladders.
Yep. Dump and burn. What's that all about?
It's more for displays. It's a dump and burn is a fuel, well, as it says. Dumping fuel into the exhaust system and causing this big flame out the back of the aircraft. Mainly used for air shows and things like that.
Yep.
I used to use them in, sometimes on Mirages, they used a fuel and oil mix to cause the smoke to come out the back. That's how they do their aerobatics in the sky. It usually comes out the back of the tail here.
So this one over here, Greg, the F-18.
The F-18 is the ultimate, that's a beast of an aircraft. That's just the Ferrari of fighter jets in its time.
Lots of bombs and armoury
Yeah.
on this particular
These two things
aircraft.
here, a lot of people get these big, these are actual fuel tanks.
Okay.
External fuel tanks. A lot of people get those confused with being bombs, but they're not bombs. They're actual fuel tanks, and they can be dumped and dropped from the aircraft, on a mission if they become empty.
Yep.
These though, the bombs on here, and you can also carry your Sparrow and Sidewinder missiles off the wingtips as well.
So when they dump the fuel, do they have an auxiliary tank in the wings or somewhere
Yeah, all the wing and the airframe lining have got fuel bladders and fuel tanks through them.
Right.
So you get a lot of fuel come from there.
Okay. So yeah. So when they dump the fuel, it's not as if they got no fuel to get home.
No.
Because Wally was a squadron leader,
Well, he was a squadron leader for Arju.
Okay.
So they generally prefer a really quite experienced pilot to pilot their Arju aircraft, so they can do, they're very familiar with it, and they can perform the experiments that they need to on the aircraft that they're developing.
Okay. Yep. So that little orange thing on the side is a Sidewinder missile.
That's the carriage for it.
Oh, the carry for it. Okay.
Yeah, that's the carriage. So this one here is actually got an arrestor hook on it as well.
Yep.
So it can land on an aircraft carrier. Cowling flares right out, especially when they're in full afterburner.
Okay.
Mostly during takeoff. It's just a beautiful aircraft. The F-18, out of all the fighter aircraft, I love the F-18. And these ones here, initially when a pilot joins the Air Force, they'll go from what's called a CT-4 trainer, which they don't use anymore. They were replaced by these, the PC-9, and they go from these to higher advanced aircraft.
So being a two-seater, Greg, the instructor would be at the back, would he?
Not necessarily.
No?
He can be at the back or he can be at the front. It just depends. And they go through stages.
All right.
So, you know, for the first month or two, the instructor might be up the front getting familiarised and helping the student pilot getting familiarised with the aircraft. That normally happens in the first 6 weeks or so. And then after that, then they start to do some serious training and manoeuvring and handling and performance and everything like that. The training gets more intense as the weeks go on.
Greggy, what's this aircraft here?
That's F-35 replica.
Okay, a replica.
It's a replica.
It's not a restoration, it's a replica.
No, it's a
Replica. And that's more the current aircraft that are being used?
The current one, yeah.
Right.
They're using those at Woolly Town. Oh, there you go.
Kiowa. Oh. My little story, when I was in the army, I was airlifted out of a exercise by one of these helicopters and taken back to the rear echelon where my unit was. So this has memories for me. The Kiowa, the Bell Kiowa helicopter. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And an army helicopter.
The army don't fly, Brian. The Air Force fly.
There you go. Righto, Greggy. What's this aircraft here?
So this one here is a Mackie fighter trainer.
Yep.
Mostly stationed at East Sale for the Roulettes, Pierce as the trainer, and also at Williamtown as the fighter school trainer. This one here, I've been up in one of these about half a dozen times at Williamtown, and I remember, I'll tell you a little story. I went out with a young flight lieutenant off the coast about 20 miles up at Port Stephens, and we were doing simulated air-to-air combat. I lasted about 10 minutes and I started reaching for the spew bag. It was pretty good. That was at about 20,000 feet. He threw that thing around like you wouldn't believe. So that's a dual seater.
So this particular aircraft can handle being thrown around in the air a lot, Greg?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a Aerospatiale Aero Macchi, which is an Italian aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah. And it can also, they used to use the Macchi at Williamtown for bombing training as well.
Okay.
Air-to-air combat and bombing training. Before they went on to the real stuff. F-18 and
And this is a familiar one to me again.
yeah,
So,
good old Caribou, this one. So Brian, tell us about this one.
well, my experience of this one in the army was going on exercise in 1985 up to Shoalwater Bay, and we left Richmond in one of these, and as you can see over here, there are no seats. It's actually a netting type seat with rows going either side of the aircraft and up the middle. Both
which we'll go in and have a look in a minute.
Yep. Anyway,
it's called seat webbing.
Seat webbing.
That's the official terminology.
Well, when you talk about the seats that I'm used to in an aircraft, mate, going from Adelaide to Sydney, this is rough. Anyway, 4 hours. It took us 4 hours from Richmond to the airfield at.
You got dudded, mate.
4 hours.
4 hours from Richmond to Rockhampton.
And,
you got dudded.
Yeah. And all we could do was, in our army greens, was sit down in this webbing with our packs on, with our rifle in front of us, the whole time. There was no stewardesses. There was no flight refreshments. There was nothing. You just sat there.
And if you had it, and I can tell you now, there would have been a navigator up in the cockpit with a pilot, and there would have been one loadmaster down the back, and if you had moved or uttered anything, he would have slapped you around the back of the listeners.
Sure would. Now, come over this way, because I remember entering and exiting this aircraft from here.
Yes.
Exiting and entering from right here.
Yeah, well this particular, the Caribou basically, the Caribou replaced the DC-3 as well. And then we also had the Hercules. Caribou were really good because you could have troops either side, very similar to a Chinook CH-47. And the back tailgate would fall down, and you could do basically, you could land these on a 20-cent piece. These were used extensively throughout New Guinea and short gravel mud airstrips. So you could have the troops in there and they could deploy out the back really quickly, and then the aircraft take off again and get out of the way.
What I also remember about this aircraft flying overhead was it was slow.
Yes.
It wasn't a very fast aircraft at all.
No.
Very, very slow. And so therefore it probably posed a good target if you just wanted to fire something at it, because it wouldn't move very fast.
Yeah, well the thing, at 250 mile an hour, 250,
Yeah.
well no, 200 mile an hour was about the best you'd get out of these.
Yeah.
Tail, with a tail wing,
Yeah.
I remember flying out from Canberra to Williamtown in one of these.
Yep.
On a Friday afternoon, we used to call them the gravel truck, and they'd rattle and roll, and in the wind, if there was a headwind, you could guarantee you could add another half an hour onto your trip. So go and have a look.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Memories, memories. Yep. And like every good aircraft, no smoking and fasten seatbelts.
And over here too, Brian, the loadmaster would often climb up that ladder and open up the vent at the top and be able to see on behind the aircraft and the top of the aircraft. This thing here, this is the static line, and this is what the army guys would hook onto for doing parachute jumps out at Saltash at Williamtown.
Yep.
When they had the parachute regiment there for the army. So all your army SAS, and commandos would have been, there they are there, there's the guys there coming out of the top of the aircraft, as you can see. But all your army guys who are paratroopers or SAS commandos would have flown in a Caribou at some stage and be dropped off. Seats are really uncomfortable.
Well, thanks, Greggy, for showing us all the RAF planes and filling us in on all that information. Really appreciate it. So we packed up Greggy and he's on his way to Elizabeth after having a cuppa 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he's on his way to Elizabeth, and then he'll be travelling from South Australia tomorrow morning back to store. There goes the goanna. He's sliding off into the sunset. There he goes. See you, mate. Thanks for a good little trip away, Greg. Thanks for everything that you did for me, mate. Take care. Well, thrill seekers, I think that's it for another day. We're just down here at Glenelg Beach, having a bit of a look around. Really nice place to be. Very, very nice beach here. They say it's the Bondi of Adelaide. Could well be. So that's it for the last day. Tomorrow we fly out home. So roll the outro. Don't mention the war. No night.